welcome back to K&S. I'm K, Kristy.
And I am S, Shawn. And S also stands for spoilers, because we are going to be spoiling the shit out of today's movie.
Yes.
So please watch this movie before listening to this episode of the podcast.
Yes, please.
This is your only warning.
Yes.
We will be spoiling the shit out of this movie.
Yeah, and we don't normally jump right in with that little segue.
Right.
But we got to say it because this was my pick this week for Presumed Innocent, 1990, Harrison Ford. And just throwing it out there right now because it was my pick. Shawn has never seen.
I have
and
not.
We're getting right into
and
it.
It's impossible to talk about this movie without discussing the ending and the twist.
Exactly.
To it. So it's just fair warning. You're gonna get spoiled if you listen to this without having seen it.
Yes, and I think for the most part, normally our podcast episodes are organic.
Yeah.
And we feel like it's like, hey, we're going to talk about something for 20, 30 minutes and then kind of drop a spoiler. And, we're just getting right into this one.
Yeah.
Because there's just no getting around it, right?
Right.
So
let's at least, before we get too much into it, Kristy, you picked Presumed Innocent.
Yes.
Why did you pick Presumed Innocent?
Well, I picked this one. Gosh, that's a good question. I should be prepared for this one. I think I picked it.
We only ask it of each other every episode.
I know, and I should be ready for it. But I'm pretty sure I picked it because it's one that speaks to me. I hold a special place for it. Well before you and I got together, it was always on my list of things that I watched.
How did you see it in theaters or did
you? No, I did not see it in theaters. It was one of those things when I was single and I didn't have a life and not much to do. I only had my little small library of things to watch, but then there were little gems like this that I didn't necessarily own because I only had my little small DVDs that I had in my collection. Or Blu-rays at the time, that I would just pull this up on whatever channel I could pull it up on at the time, I guess.
Okay.
Be it Stars, be it cable of some sort. And it just always had a little place for me. And I just always liked it. And it's Harrison Ford. And of which is funny, because before we started this tonight, I said to you, how funny is this? You had just booked our ticket for Indiana Jones 5.
Dial of Destiny.
And you, I believe a day or two ago,
earlier
you
this week.
sent me my Entourage ticket to AMC, so we're going to go see that when it comes out. And by the way, I had already picked this movie before you sent me that.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of apropos how funny that I had already picked this movie, Harrison Ford, before any of this big hoopla about Indiana Jones 5 coming out.
Yeah,
Kinda?
Before it became more public. I mean, we always knew this movie was coming out.
No, I understand that, but I just...
Before the trailer dropped and before the Cannes
before any of this, and then we did our last episode.
For Dread,
and this was my pick anyway, so... It was just kind of funny and ironic how it came about.
Welcome back, Harrison Ford.
Welcome back.
This is the second time one of your movies have been featured on K&S. In 14 episodes, you've been on 2 of them.
Yes. Working Girl, which was our second.
Third.
Was it?
Yes.
No?
Yes, third. Second was Leviathan, third was...
Oh, my bad. Sorry. It was our... third because
your second pick,
my second pick,
right,
which was Working Girl, and then what was the third?
No, this is his. Second
this
time.
is the second one. Okay, we did Aaron Brockovich, then we did Leviathan, then we did Working Girl.
Right.
By the way, folks, please, episode 3, Working Girl. Yeah, not just because it's my pick. It's my big love of that movie, and
it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
And you liked it as well. But if you haven't checked it out, please do so. Episode 3,
Mm-hmm.
go back and listen to it, or, God, just watch the movie. Working Girl's amazing. And this was fun. And what's funny is that I wrote down, because I couldn't help it, Harrison Ford is 48 years old in this.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because I'm about to be 52.
I am 42.
And you are 42. Now, I'm not, like, shaming him or anything. I'm not saying anything bad. But, like, he still looks older in this than I do. And I am, like, what, 4 years older than him. You know what I'm saying? Did you feel like he looks a little older than... He's 48 in real life in this.
He does, but I mean, again, this is just funny as you grow up with other actors' movies, that have longevity, like he has.
I know.
That if he was 48 in 1990 or 1989, when he made this movie...
Star Wars came out in 1977. He was 35 in that. Am I doing the math right? No, wait, no.
No, yeah, you're right.
No. Am I doing the math right?
You're right. 35, so 45 and 87, and then 48 by the time this movie was made.
And then Indiana Jones in 81, he's still considerably older in that.
And obviously, like, when I grew up in the 80s watching the Indiana Jones trilogy at the time of movies, he always seemed wildly older than me, because he was wildly older than me. And I still feel like he's wildly older than, like, Indiana Jones as a character in those 3 movies is wildly older than I am, even though I am the same age, roughly, that he was as he made the Indiana Jones movies. So it's a trip.
It's a total trip.
It's a trip to look at it like that.
No, I mean, to watch this, and I gotta say...
I mean, wait, hold on. Working Girl was 88? 87?
Oh, you're calling
I don't recall.
This. Yeah.
But, I mean, that's only 3... That was the difference between Working Girl and Presumed Innocent.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see where you're going with
I think he actually aged significantly between those roles.
I know. Working Girl was 88.
So that's only 2 years before this movie.
Yeah, and what's funny is, he...
And not to say he looks
considerably
bad. He looks great.
The fact that he's 48 in this, I cannot...
But he feels so much younger in Working Girl.
No, but I mean, hear me out. I just said it a couple of minutes ago. I'm going to say it again. He's 48 in this. I'm going to be 52. He still looks older than me in this.
Yeah, that's
true. Now, I know that sounds like I'm bragging. I don't think I'm, like, hot shit or anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he looks older than 48 in this.
Yeah.
Now, I keep saying it wrong because we keep talking. I said it earlier. The Cannes Film Festival. The Cannes Film Festival. Okay. He just did, he's 80 now. And they just did the Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah.
And they did a big special for him there, and he cried. It was, like, amazing. And literally, I turned to you and said, dude, Harrison Ford is 80. And now, he's still handsome as hell. But, he's married to Ally McBeal. And so, if you don't know who that is, that's Calista Flockhart.
Yeah.
And back in the Ally McBeal days. God bless you. Does it not make you feel old?
I know, but the Ally McBeal days were 25 years ago.
My point is, he is 80 at this festival. He's crying because everybody's standing up for him, giving him... I'm just saying I feel old. That's all I'm saying. You should feel old.
For the younger listeners...
Harrison Ford is 80. I just said it. Boom. Threw it out there.
For the younger listeners, there was a television show called Ally McBeal.
Yeah.
Which took the nation by storm for several years. For some ungodly reason.
They had unisex bathrooms.
They had...
which is a big deal.
And what I remember about it most...
Portia de Rossi.
Is that they had the unisex bathrooms... And there was a episode with a CGI dancing baby.
Yeah.
That for whatever reason, that dancing baby was shared along the early days of the internet, like it was going out of style.
Yeah.
Like it was the most amazing thing anybody had ever seen. Kind of ridiculous to look back upon now.
But I goddamn love that
also,
show.
Calista Flockhart did nothing of value.
Oh
after
no,
that.
I honestly,
I guess what she did of value was Harrison Ford.
Oh my God, I want to say, first of all, I love that show. Love that show. Was that David Kelly? I want to say that was David Kelly.
Couldn't tell you. I tried watching like 2 episodes. I found it really insufferable. Yeah.
Really?
I don't know why that show is popular.
Oh,
I don't.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. I would happily revisit it. As in 2023, just because
it is David Kelly.
I'm that much older.
Yeah.
And I might see something different in it than I did at the time. But yeah, I watch it and I'm like, why does anybody watch this garbage?
Wow, I'm shocked. And normally, and not only is he David Kelly, you know who he's married to, right? You do know who he's married. I've known this forever. Michelle Pfeiffer. So you just shit on like 2 things. A, Ellie McBeal, and B, Michelle Pfeiffer.
I didn't shit on Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, you didn't even know they were married till just about 5 seconds ago. Why would I care? Because she's Michelle fucking Pfeiffer.
Love Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
You know what she's not? Michelle Kelly. Okay, so if she became Michelle Kelly, I might know who she married.
Yeah, but she's not gonna do that.
No,
she's not. Also, Ellie McBeal is not Ellie. Oh wait, that's the show though.
That's a show.
Yeah. Okay, but
it's a character.
Sorry, my bad. Callista Flockhart is not Callista Ford. You see what I'm saying? So what's the difference?
She's not.
No, I'm Kristy Gertz. I'm not McLaughlin. And there it is. Mic drop. So.
But you are Kristy Gertz McLaughlin.
Yeah, I'm not taking your name.
It's too late.
I'm keeping Gertz.
Yeah.
I'm keeping Gertz is what I'm saying. Let's get right to it.
Gertz is a great name. I might take
Gertz. Gertz is a great name.
Jesus Christ.
By the way, for those of you listening that called me Gertz in high school, they knew that before they knew my first name. So McLaughlin wasn't changing anything. So I love you, but
no.
Michelle Pfeiffer is keeping her
taking
name.
names is kind of a funny thing anyway.
No, it is kind of. Also hyphenating.
One of my favorite jokes, by the way, ever, like on a show. I don't know why this always sticks out to me. Maybe because I was a fan of the band growing up, but there was an episode of Absolutely Fabulous.
Yeah.
In the initial run of it,
the gals,
where they're throwing a party and they're inviting all these models and everything, and they invite Simon Le Bon and Yasmin Le Bon, and one of their interns go up there and they're like, let me see the guest list, and they're like, oh, Simon Le Bon, how forward thinking of him to take his wife's last name, and just because she was that much younger and had no understanding of who Duran Duran was, despite the fact they were massively popular less than 10 years beforehand.
What's funny is what I always said, never trust a woman that hyphenates her name. When she got married, I always said that. Don't trust a woman that hyphenates her name. She can't make a decision. She doesn't know. Here I am hyphenated all these years later.
Catherine Zeta-Jones?
No, that's actually her name, Catherine Zeta-Jones. She's not Zeta Jones Douglas.
It's a hyphenated last name.
No, I'm saying Kristy Gertz McLaughlin. I'm just saying, don't hyphenate your name. It's too long. She
could have 2 hyphens.
It's too messy. It's too much involved.
Catherine Zeta-Jones
Douglas. No,
I was going to say
she's
Michael
not.
Douglas.
She's literally Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah, no, I know that, yeah.
She's not, there's no hyphenation. There's nothing there.
You can't have a cool name like Zeta-Jones and then go to Douglas.
Well, oh, that's true. That's true.
I mean, just like Michelle Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer's a cool last name.
Hello, Gertz. Why would
you drop a Gertz?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not dropping a Gertz. I'm keeping a Gertz. Exactly. Well, anyway, you shouldn't don't trust people that hyphenate their name. And yet, I did it.
Presumed innocent.
Sorry, we tend to say
1990 courtroom drama.
Let me get right to it because I wrote it down in big letters. We talked about it last episode with Dredd. Bonnie Bedelia. Goddamn was I right with her being annoying. I'm asking you right now.
I'm going to tell you right now, she's so annoying. She's so annoying. How annoying is she? She's so annoying. I I'm almost surprised you picked the movie.
I know. Hear me out. I gotta say, I know I sometimes jump over you. I know I do it a lot. I gotta say it really quick. As I'm watching this tonight, I'm going, what did I say to you? I go, it's late tonight. I still want to watch this. I'm excited. You're like, I'm in. As I'm watching this and her scenes, I'm like, God damn it, she's still annoying to me. And then I was thinking, Shawn is probably thinking, why did you pick this movie? Because she's still annoying to you. But yet, I still have, I stand by it. I still have love for the movie, which we're going to get into here shortly. Mm-hmm. But I just, am I right? She's annoying.
Oh, she's
no range, no emotion, no nothing. What say you?
And you know, here's the thing. Last week when we talked about Dredd, and we were talking about doing this movie, we talked about her in relation to her character in Die Hard as Holly,
as the wife, as the wife as well in that.
John McClane's estranged wife,
yes,
Holly. I said that, you know, she only is there to serve a function in the plot. You know, she's there to have a reason for John McClane to be there, and she's there to flip over the picture so that she doesn't give away that McClane is her husband. I get it.
And I stood by it in this.
And we were talking about how you find her annoying, and I found her, I defended her as an actress more than the character of Holly, because Holly's a terrible character, and I stand by it for reasons
and what did I say? I said I stop it with her character. Right. She's annoying to me as an actress.
Here's the problem, because I have completely turned to the side of Kristy.
Bonnie, if you're listening, he's about to drop it. Yeah, I think.
I gave you a pass in Die Hard because it ain't your fucking movie. You're only in it. You're in it for a decent chunk, but you don't have much to do. You're a hostage through most of that movie.
I wasn't wrong.
And your job was to sit there with the rest of your coworkers and provide a few lines every now and then. You're a huge part of Presumed Innocent. Yeah. And I don't want to say you're a terrible actress, but if you aren't a terrible actress, you played a very, very convincing person with absolutely no emotional range whatsoever.
I call it a terrible actress. And annoying as fuck. And I stand by it.
I'm going to sit there and say she got this job because of Die Hard.
Thank you.
And she should never have gotten this job. They should have fucking pulled an Eric Stoltz on this chick. And saw that it wasn't working halfway through the movie and reshot everything with her.
And by the way, folks, if you don't know, Eric Stoltz was the original character in Back to the Future.
Yes, he was Marty McFly in Back to the Future before he was replaced with Michael J. Fox. After finishing 80% of the movie.
Yeah, because everybody, test audiences said, yeah, this isn't working, hence putting in Michael J. Fox. Yeah. All I'm saying is, she is the exact same character, same inflection, she's not even moving her face, her mouth. When she talks in this, is she not annoying as hell? Now, that being said, you just made a really good point. Kristy, how do you even like this movie? Because she annoys you that much. As I'm watching it, again with you tonight, for my 5th or 6th time, I'm trying to get past that, because Harrison Ford, Raúl Juliá, we just watched how to say his name, so I want to make sure I say it right. Raúl Juliá. John Spencer, Paul Winfield, come on. Like, just... Dennehy, Brian Dennehy. God bless you all. Like, I'm trying to get past it, but, like, I believe we paused it at one point. I got up to... Because I had to get up to go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And I said to you, and I still think it every time I watch it, who is behind this that she is totally miscast? And by that I mean... Anybody else could have done this role.
I think any
And now, who would have put her in? I don't know who would have been her. Am I wrong, though? I think she's miscast.
On a purely superficial looking the part cast.
Die Hard was 88.
Yeah, which is a couple years before this movie.
Okay, so 88, this was 1990.
Probably
exactly.
shot in 89.
So,
88, Die Hard came out, was a success,
said,
and there was like...
oh my God, what can we throw fucking Bonnie Bedelia in?
But here's the thing. As far as looking the part, here's the problem. So we have Carolyn, who is the Laura Palmer of this movie.
Yes.
She is found dead, and we only see her in flashbacks, and she is gorgeous.
Greta, I can't say her last name. Stacha.
She's a very attractive, very pretty woman.
Very much.
I think you need to cast Harrison Ford's wife as a more mousy, maternal woman in order to get the contrast and get why he would be willing to stray.
Could she move her mouth and have any kind of range or emotion? Again, tell me her character in this, Bonnie Bedelia, if you're listening, your character in this was no fucking different than Die Hard with your inflections, moving your mouth. I can't even do it. Like, and by the way, our listeners can't see me do her face right now. But
she just kind of has a sour face through this whole movie.
She's annoying.
Your husband, we find out shortly into the movie, had an affair.
Yeah.
In the past with the victim of this crime.
Right. We're going to talk about this scene?
I want to talk about just her range in general.
Okay.
There's a part where she's angry with him.
Yeah.
There's a part where I almost want to say it's like a little bit of an inebriation type of angry with him when she comes in while he's crying on the couch.
No, we had a discussion about that scene.
And there's, again, later in the movie, Harrison Ford is brought up on charges for the murder of this woman. They have a kid, Barbara and him. So you would think that at any point during that, she would be concerned that her house is being raided by the police, that her husband's on trial, that how is this going to affect her child, how is this going to affect her livelihood, whether she believes her husband or not. There's no fucking range. She never gets upset.
No.
She never gets
her mouth
more angry.
Move.
She
Nothing.
never sits there and goes, my husband would never do such a thing.
Exactly.
There is never a moment where she fucking elevates the scene at all.
Well, oh God, I'm going to give her one tiny pass.
The couch scene.
No.
The bed scene.
At the end, when she does the crying and she, admits to shit.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Sorry, we already said it. Oh my God. I wasn't even buying that. Let's talk about the couch scene where he's in there and he's flashbacking and he's drinking the whiskey with the pictures of the one he's,
Yeah, the crime scene photos.
Yeah, the crime scene photos with her bloody head. And she comes in and she's like, you're still obsessing. I was like, did your lips even move when you did that?
Also,
oh my God.
It's his job.
I know.
He is literally doing his job.
Also, but then we paused and I turned to you and I said, let's pretend, Shawn, one of your coworkers was killed, bludgeoned in the head. And the pictures are right in front of you. Whether you slept with them or not. Okay, granted, you did have an affair. Harrison had an affair with her. I get it. He's literally having whiskey and he's crying because it's devastating. It's a coworker. Granted, you slept with her, but there was nothing there. There was no love there. It's just, if we even, anyway, we paused and we even said it, if that was one of our coworkers or somebody that we knew, and we're looking at their pictures of this, we would be devastated.
I'd be emotional.
Know what I mean? And
I'd be emotional.
We'd be emotional. I'd be crying with a glass of whiskey. Fucking Bonnie Bedelia comes in and says,
very few.
You're still obsessing with, by the way, her lips are moving when she says it. Yeah, I'm a hater. Listeners, I'm a hater, and I'm going to say it the next hour of this podcast.
How many stars did you give this movie?
No, I gave it 4 stars for many reasons, which we're going to get into for many reasons. Raúl Juliá, Brian Dennehy, fucking John Spencer.
Let's talk about them instead of Bobby Bonilla.
I know. Well, we decided to get that out. God, I'm getting angry about... but I got angry about it when I announced her.
What's this bitch's name again? Honestly, I keep...
Oh, shit.
I keep saying Bobby Bonilla, and because of the double B's.
Oh, you mean her character's name?
No, her character's name's Barbara, whatever.
Oh, it's Barbara, yeah.
I mean the actress's name.
It's Bonnie Bedelia.
Bonnie Bedelia. Okay.
Bonnie Bedelia.
I keep saying Bobby Bonilla.
And are you listening? You know...
Bobby Bonilla, by the way, was the third baseman for the Pittsburgh Pirates throughout the entire 1980s.
Yeah, and also...
I grew up watching that dude.
We should be dropping Julia Roberts and not Bonnie Bedelia, but...
Possibly a steroid user. I don't want to make any accusations.
Oh.
Bobby Bonilla.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Julia Roberts.
No. I mean, I don't know.
No, I don't know. Oh, no, it's Bonnie Bedelia.
Bonnie Bedelia.
Yeah, and she looks a little different there with her blonde hair.
Yeah, well, anyway, I'm not blaming her on that.
No, I know. Look.
Times change.
Look, you just asked a great question. You said, okay, so you're not a big fan of her. Why did you pick this movie? And what did you give this movie? I still give this movie, I gave it a 4 stars on Letterboxd. I still love this movie. Harrison Ford, stop it, you have my heart. Tell me, when you heard Raúl Juliá was in this, you were like, damn. And then tell me you didn't love his character.
Harrison Ford, fine actor, will get me in the door every time.
Yeah.
Okay? He's done some bad movies. But I like him, you know, and he was a hero of mine growing up, so I'll watch pretty much anything he's in.
And Working Girl's amazing.
Working Girl's very good. Kristy, get over it.
I know.
That was 10 episodes ago.
Episode 3. Go back to Working Girl. Please listen to it.
But Raúl Juliá
is amazing.
Is a great fucking actor. Yeah. And he will elevate any goddamn movie he's in, even the worst.
Oh, you know what he has too? Emotion.
Yeah.
And range. Unlike Bonnie Bedelia, but yeah, he's great. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
He's great.
Raúl Juliá is great.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Seriously.
You'll always be my homie when it comes to these movies. He is Harrison Ford's attorney.
Yep.
Defense attorney.
And John
doesn't show up until roughly halfway through the movie.
About halfway through. And John
every scene with him is great.
And John Spencer's his sidekick.
Yeah, John Spencer is kind of like his assistant. Subdued for his usual performance because he's usually a dick or a jerk in comedies.
Yeah.
And here he's
so Chicago, like, just come in and drink a beer and have a hot dog.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's so great. And Brian Dennehy as well, who is also a dick in this movie. Dick boss.
Yeah, he is
pretty
a dick
much
boss.
Throws him under the boss.
He was my first suspect.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Dennehy was my first suspect, like, I'd say 5 minutes into the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was up to some shady shit.
Yeah.
But he is not the killer. But I wouldn't have played my card at that point anyway because I didn't have the confidence.
Tell me, I wrote this down. You know the music's great in this.
John Williams,
which is the John Williams score.
the goddamn man. Not my favorite composer of all time, but definitely up there.
But when they're in the I know this sounds stupid, but I wrote it down on my notes. When they're in the elevator, Harrison Ford and Brian Dennehy. And Dennehy's telling them to take the case when they find out Carolyn died. And they're going down that elevator, you know, the glass elevator.
And the way the shade goes on his face. Yeah.
Yeah, but the noise at each floor, thump, thump. It's just that music. That's tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to really be looking at that kind of thing and that, I don't know, it just added to the moment.
There's a recurring bit of music in here, which is Carolyn's theme.
It's Carolyn's theme,
and
with the piano.
It's got like it always cycles over. Like it plays a chord out, and then there's like 3 notes at the end of it that kind of raise up instead of fades out like most music tracks would do, and it's striking. And I want to say I've heard either it reused later in, you know, like maybe a horror film or something, or it was just something that inspired something else, very closely.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really good piece. This is a good score for something that's
a great score.
Not really John Williams' wheelhouse of a movie either, because he's used to doing, big epic movies like Star Wars or Superman or E.T., just big crowd pleaser type movies, bombastic scores.
But I love that. I love that you said Carolyn's theme, because it was so like when he was like set on in his moments and his flashbacks. It was just cool, and it was.
Well, it's
I love that. Yeah.
Badalamenti did with Laura's theme too in Twin Peaks, which would be on the air when this movie came out.
Yeah.
It would always Laura wasn't a live character in the show, but every time somebody would talk about her, the music would be the same. Well,
I think going back to Carolyn specifically, forget her theme for a second. Carolyn's a bitch. Okay, she's not a good person. Harrison had the affair with her, and we were kind of laughing because in the certain scenes with her, you were like, "Hello," when they were in the office, and boobs. When they won the case together, and then they were on the desk and doing it pretty much, and it made me laugh because I was like, she went to grab him, and sorry folks, we're getting a little intimate here, but I said I just want to know these things, and this is stuff I write down. I'm like, it's Harrison Ford, for Christ's sake, he's a professional, but I'm like, do you think he's excited? Did they get excited? And Shawn, what did you say in that particular scene? I know what you said. You said he had to have had a boner right then.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, look.
I'm just saying.
There's some stuff that just happens out of the friction of the moment.
Yeah. But I was just curious, too, because I don't know. His shirt was covering stuff.
Yeah, well, typically... Typically, actors have something down there, in nude scenes that are,
he's Harrison Ford. He's a professional. Maybe he doesn't have a boner going on. I don't know.
I don't know.
He's Harrison Ford. He's got to be a professional.
Hollywood magic.
I don't know. What's Hollywood magic?
I don't know. Maybe they've got anti-boner pills that they pop beforehand. I don't know.
Or maybe he's just not. Oh, he was he with Calista at that point? I don't know.
No, Calista wasn't born yet.
Oh, that's true. Okay, but I'm just saying, maybe you're just not attracted to somebody, so I don't know. I would think something would happen. She grabbed it in that scene.
She's grabbing at it. Again.
She full on grabbed at it in that scene in the office. So anyway, just it's just stuff I think about.
He was doing stuff to her pretty graphically too.
Oh, so. That's right. Because you were like, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just curious. I don't know.
Turn the air down in here.
I know. But anyway, all I was going to say was I was still thinking between Carolyn and Barbara, his wife.
Yeah.
Both are fucking nuts. So you just got to pick between who's nuttier. Well, I guess you can't pick because Carolyn's dead. But, at the same point...
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
She's dead because
alive,
your wife is nuttier.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good call. Yeah. I don't know.
Hey, Barbara, why don't you bring that passion that you use to commit a murder to your acting?
Oh, I know, right? Okay, so we gotta jump in what you said because I'm holding it
what
right
did I
now.
Say?
You had a piece of paper, so we're sitting there watching the movie, and you wrote on a piece of paper because I always take notes.
Yeah.
And you rarely do, but you did a little bit this particular.
I did
movie.
a little bit this one.
Yeah, you did.
Do you want me to cover my notes first before we go into that?
No, I'm doing.
Because they kind of lead into it.
Oh, okay. If you want to do that.
Okay,
first.
So all of my notes were basically me trying to figure out who the murderer is, right?
Like an hour in.
Well, no, these started from the beginning.
Okay. Okay. This was an hour.
That was when I was confident.
Okay. Oh, I gotcha.
So I started out thinking, like I said earlier, that I thought Dennehy was a killer.
Okay.
I scratched that pretty quickly. Then I wrote down here, is Carolyn really dead? And I still think that would have been a good twist. Because we never actually see the body. We only see the photos.
Okay.
And we never see her actual face in the photo. We just see her head was smashed, from the side.
Okay.
So we see her hair and her blood. So my working theory for a short period of time was, like, if this is going to be a twist ending sort of thing, because we know Harrison didn't do it. Although that would have been a good twist ending too, but I didn't see that happening in this movie.
Okay.
Was that Carolyn and Barbara were in cahoots, maybe killed somebody else, but then I was like, Barbara's not that smart.
Okay.
So anyway,
smart enough to.
Well, no, she was smart enough to fucking actually be the murderer, which is what I figured. So right before I wrote that, what's on your thing?
Okay.
An hour and 5 minutes in. Go ahead and read it.
Okay, so you put on a little piece of paper and you folded it up. It actually says an hour and 4 minutes.
Hour and 4 minutes.
And you folded it up and you just said, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to divulge this on the podcast.
Or after the movie.
Or after the movie, before the podcast, or during. And I said, okay, you feel pretty confident. So, we opened it up after the movie, and it says 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Right.
And I quote, listeners, Shawn wrote, "Oh, Barbara killed this bitch." So, he called it. It was Barbara, and it was Bonnie Bedelia that, And I was a little surprised, because the first time I saw this, I've seen this several times. The first time I saw this, I had no idea. I really had no idea. So I was kind of not shocked that you figured it out. But, I mean, an hour and 4 minutes in, I was a little bit.
Once I realized, this was my working thesis. I took a couple notes, but nothing major. But once I realized that I was on Harrison Ford's side, that he didn't do it.
We figured.
Which, you figure.
Yeah.
I mean, there has been movies that threw that red herring, but I was going to go with it, that Harrison Ford was operating under the assumption that he wouldn't kill this woman.
Right.
But the evidence being stacked against him consisted of a beer glass that had his fingerprints on it.
Right.
And matching sperm to his blood type, because they never mentioned DNA evidence in this movie. I think it was before DNA evidence was popularized.
Just none of it made sense.
But there was sperm in the system, not in the fallopian tubes, that match his blood type. So...
Well, they did. It did match.
It did.
It was just a blood type,
which is pretty good evidence against him. Well, if you think about that he's not guilty, you have to think, how did that evidence get there? Where would the fingerprints come from, and where would the cum come from?
Okay.
The only person that would have access to that's not Harrison Ford would be his wife.
Oh my God! I never thought
she could easily put the glass in there because he's touching his own glasses.
I get that, but you actually thought she saved his cum.
Oh yeah.
To put it. Oh my God! Okay, you're thinking the first time I saw this, I was not even thinking that, but now that I know how freaking Barbara is crazy, we'll get into a little bit more of that in a minute, but. I get it, but I never thought that.
I absolutely thought it.
Okay.
Especially with that clue about the cum not being in the fallopian tubes at all.
Okay.
That means that it was put there and stopped at some point. They said there was a diaphragm that was being used.
Yeah.
But again, somebody took that diaphragm and removed it. Okay. All right. Who's gonna do that?
Okay, I'm gonna take it one step.
As Harrison Ford himself said, I'm going to take the time to remove a diaphragm and not take the beer glass that I've been drinking.
I'm going to take this one step further because I got to know this. I know when I did my original Letterboxd review, I wrote this. I wrote it in my notes tonight. I need your opinion.
Okay.
I know you are not a law person, nor am I. We're not lawyers. We're not... Okay, but I gotta know. Harrison Ford is a chief deputy prosecutor. Chief deputy prosecutor. Saying it again. Mm-hmm. He's on trial for Carolyn's murder. Yet, you get to go to her apartment to look for clues. I don't understand that at all. So explain that to me.
He got to go because his lawyer was present. And the lawyer was allowed to look at the crime scene.
His lawyer wasn't present. What's his name?
Well, yeah, what's his name? It was there in his place.
The dude from West Wing that we called him.
Bradley
Whitford.
And Billy Madison.
Bradley Whitford was there. That's like the assistant or something. That wasn't his lawyer. That's what... Hear me out.
Okay, no.
Hear me out. No, I stand by this. I stand by this, and I get really angry about this. I put it in my Letterboxd review, and I want a lawyer or somebody to jump on and say something. He is the chief deputy prosecutor who is put on trial for her murder. He's on trial for her murder. Your lawyer isn't with you. You get to go to her apartment to go... It makes no fucking sense.
You want to know what makes less sense?
And I'm not a lawyer, but look, I'm not in law school. I'm pretty sure this makes no fucking sense.
First of all,
that's not how it works.
It made for one great scene, which was before they actually went in there.
Makes no sense.
They're putting on gloves.
Thank you.
And the cop is like, "What are you gonna do in there?" And he's like, "What are you worried that I'm gonna put my fingerprints on stuff in here?" Which was a great line.
It was a great line. You were never allowed in there. You are on trial for her murder.
No, that's absolutely
I don't believe it.
Fair.
Don't believe any of it.
But here's what I thought.
Any lawyers listening, back me up.
I would love to.
Never gonna fucking happen.
I'm gonna see if Legal Eagle has an episode on Presumed Innocent now that I've seen this, because he likes to debunk. He's a real lawyer that likes to debunk like stuff in movies, and I would love to see his thoughts on this, because what I loved was the actual trial. The judge, who, this is a jury trial. There are 14 jurors that are supposed to make the decision on whether or not Harrison Ford is guilty. And throughout the trial, the judge just like leans over to the jury and is like, I can't tell you what to do, but I don't think that you should be listening to this part.
No. And
I can't tell you what to think.
And they're handling evidence in a plastic bag with like a bloody shirt. You don't get to handle that, to my knowledge. I'm not a lawyer, but you don't get to handle that stuff. No, stop it. They show it as evidence. Here's evidence A, B, C. A juror doesn't get to hold the plastic bag of the bloody shirt, to my knowledge. Now, this was 1990.
It also might have been... Hear me out. I don't know that for sure, but it could possibly be like how things are done in a state or in a jurisdiction. Like all these trials are different.
Well, it was Chicago.
But
it's Illinois.
We all know Chicago just does whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, I know, except eat ketchup on hot dogs.
Right, because they're not savages.
Look, I know, exactly. And I know this sounds terrible because you said something earlier. You said, because I was ripping on something, and you're like, what are you giving this movie then? I love this movie, but it's funny. Watching it with you tonight, I'm like, what? By the way, on Letterboxd, I gave this 4 stars. Mm-hmm. I thought tonight, maybe watching it for the first time with you, I might give it a 5 stars. I'm not. And here's why. Because there's so many fucking holes. And by the way, the one hole I just said a few minutes ago...
was in Carolyn's head?
No. First of all, I wrote down, let's talk about all the suspenders in this movie. Did you notice all the guys with the suspenders in this movie? Jesus Christ. I should have brought this up as you were watching it because you would note all the suspenders in this movie. This must have been a thing in 1990. I don't know. But thank God Harrison Ford didn't have suspenders. I don't think Raúl did either.
No, but lots of people wear suspenders under a suit jacket.
Jesus.
So you don't actually see them.
Fucking distracting.
And Dennehy needs suspenders because he's a big dude.
No, he's a big dude. He has to hold that shit up. But all I'm saying is...
When he's making brake pads over at Callahan's.
No, that's the wrong movie. That's Tommy Boy.
Hey, Tommy Boy!
Okay. So anyway, the biggest thing in here, let's get right to it. The biggest secret of the movie. Said it in my Letterboxd review. I just want to share it with you now because finally you get somebody else I can share this movie with knows now that what I'm talking about. You didn't clean the weapon. This, to me, let me finish my sentence because I know you're doing the look. This, I know we're jumping to the end here, people, but I can't help it. There is no... This is why this movie, folks, I wanted Shawn to see it. I like it. I love it. Harrison Ford, happy 80th, 81, whatever you are. This fucking movie where he finds the weapon, he knows Barbara did it. Why the fuck she didn't clean the blood and the hair off the weapon? It makes no sense. This is where this movie loses it for me. If we were Roger, Ebert, and...
Siskel.
Oh my God, Siskel and Ebert right now, they'd be saying, rest in peace, both of you. They'd be saying the same thing. There's no way he's fixing that fence. Blood on it, the piece of hair. She didn't fucking... And then, you see, he goes down to the basement and he starts cleaning it. He cleans it, but she didn't clean it. What say you? That's the biggest fuck up of the movie.
I have a lot to say about this.
It still steams me.
First of all, back to my earlier working theory that they might have been in cahoots, Carolyn and Barbara or something. I almost feel like she intentionally didn't wash the hammer because she wanted the cops to find said hammer when they tore apart the house. So
he gets in bigger trouble?
Well, it was a revenge on him for cheating on her.
She's a dumb bitch.
She is a dumb bitch. But this is where you're looking at it as she's so stupid for this. I'm looking at it as we saw the court report and the autopsy where the dude says, I think he was hit with a blunt hammer or the back of a hatchet. And in the house...
She didn't want him to get you. Okay, hear me out. Jumping in. Totally get it. She also didn't want him to get caught. She said she didn't think it was going to go that far.
I get it.
She did say...
I get her saying that.
She said if it went that far, I was going to get on the stand. You dumb bitch. Why would you let it get that far? And the bloody weapon, you're right. They searched the home.
And didn't find the bloody fucking hatchet that perfectly matches what it said in court.
That's the also fuck up of this movie.
Why weren't you looking for a hatchet specifically in that house?
Thank you. They found fibers on the carpet that matched. They found whatever else. They tore that house apart. But they didn't go down.
You know where they didn't look?
My God.
In the fucking 1800s coal miners toolbox
basement
that Harrison Ford, the high-paid attorney
that he's fixing,
prosecutor in the great state of Illinois.
Now I get you.
Can't afford a real goddamn toolbox.
Now I get you because he is literally fixing the fence. He breaks the hammer, when he's trying to pull out that nail. Then he picks up the weapon, the murder weapon, and it's right there. So she made it so obvious. Fucking great question. Why didn't the cops go down there and find them?
Also, apropos of nothing.
Did she want it to be found?
That's what I was telling you initially. That was part of her plan. And then she does kind of say in her confession, she's like, and then a miracle happened and the case got thrown out.
But why did she want him to get caught so bad?
Well, initially, it's because she's angry at him for cheating on her. So I'm going to take my vengeance out on the more attractive woman that ruined my life. And then ruin him in the process. That's what fucking Gone Girl is. Spoiler alert for Gone Girl.
Yeah, Gone Girl's a great movie, though. Fuck you. Ben Affleck, you're amazing.
Gone Girl's a better movie than this. Sorry.
Oh, Gone Girl's a better movie. Absolutely. And what's his name that I'm thinking about?
Ben Affleck?
No. Yes, Ben Affleck. But the blonde guy from that.
Oh, fuck.
You know who I'm talking about? He's amazing in that.
Yes, and I can't think of his name.
God.
Oh, my God.
We gotta...
was it Neil Patrick Harris?
Yes.
Yeah,
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
So, anyway, great point. So, God, after seeing this 3 to 4 times, pardon me, folks, because it's a little late that we're doing this podcast tonight, but great point, Shawn. She is doing this because she wants him to get caught, and then she didn't think it was going to go so far, and then when she sits down at the kitchen table at the end, that's when she says, I was going to take the stand and say it all, you know what I mean, and tell it all that she did it, you know what I mean, so, right, I mean, if I understood that correctly, so, you're right, now I get, after seeing it like a couple of times, I guess she planted that. I don't know that she did, though. I think that's all in perspective.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying.
Please explain to me. Harrison Ford is washing the hatchet off.
Yeah.
Getting his dead ex relationship of some sort.
Okay.
Ex-mistress.
Yeah.
Blood and hair off of the hatchet. That's when Bobby Bonilla shows up. Okay. And walks downstairs into the...
No, something you just said a couple minutes ago. Love that you said it, because you just brought something new to me. It could have been she planted it for the cops to find, right? Because, her vengeance.
Right.
Get back at him, blah, 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 blah. To Harrison Ford. Or she did it and just didn't think of it. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's all in the eye of the beholder, but what you just said, her coming down the steps right then, I'll tell you why. She literally was coming home from her interview, and she was going for her dissertation, and came home right then and just said, I did it. They believe me. They want me for her dissertation, and... You're looking at me funny, but it's just it just happened to be that timing.
If I came home, I would go into the house.
Oh no! And then she saw him holding the weapon,
right?
And he was cleaning it, and that's why she looked at it.
I'm just saying, it's such bullshit timing. If you give me a tool covered in grease, and I'm washing it off. It's going to take 2 minutes to clean that tool and throw it back in the toolbox.
Dude, it's the timing of the movie. It's a fucking movie.
Yeah, no, it's kind of bullshit.
Okay, I'm just saying. If you're asking why she came down the stairs at that particular time, Jesus Christ, it's a fucking movie. She came down... It's a movie.
It also, what's
funny...
It's
also, did you see Gone Girl, what you were just talking about?
I think Gone Girl might have actually been influenced by this movie. I think it very much might have been
again, Gone Girl, folks, is a better movie. But I'm just saying, she came down, it was the whole premise of it.
Also, it's kind of funny.
See a single tear
he never even would have found the hatchet if his hammer didn't break trying to remove the nail. Which, buy some fucking tools, man.
I know, but you know what? I'm still kind of weirded out. This could go either way. And I would like to know what our listeners think. And honestly, on this one, you said you think she left it bloodied with the hair on it so the cops would find it when they searched the home.
Right.
I think she's just a fucking dum-dum because she's Barbara and she's Bonnie Bedelia and I don't like her anyway. And she just literally did it and then just fucking threw it. Threw it back in the box. I don't really know. Because how often, Harrison Ford, are you working on a fence? How often is he working on a fence? He's got lawyer shit to do.
Right, well, not anymore.
Well, not anymore. But then look how easy he cleaned it off. So, like, girl, you could have done that too. But, you know what? She doesn't have time to clean off the murder weapon because she's too busy killing people. Oh, and also...
And working on her dissertation for 10 fucking years.
Oh, also, you know what she's busy doing? Not speaking correctly and not having any range or emotion because you're Bonnie Bedelia and you have no range or emotion. Don't like her. Don't like her.
You said earlier Carolyn was a terrible person.
Yeah.
I get it.
The one he had the affair with.
Yes. Carolyn was a user. 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
She absolutely was but she was fucking motivated and she did her job. And she did a good job. She's out there getting child abusers put in fucking jail.
True.
And you know what Bobby Bonilla is not doing? She's not getting her dissertation done. She's not hitting home runs.
No.
She's making beds. I'm the housewife. No, you fucking suck. And you deserve...
You know what she's doing? She's being annoying. That's what she's doing. What she's not doing...
We lost somebody that was helping the public. Whether or not she was using coworkers to climb the corporate ladder, so to speak.
She's also not giving Harrison Ford a boner. So that's what I know, too. Just saying. Am I wrong?
Oh, she's not giving him a boner. That's why he's turning elsewhere.
And then at the end he says, but I can't turn in the mother of my son.
Which is the end of Gone Girl. It's the end of Gone Girl. We learned that she set everything up and Ben Affleck's trapped.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what do you... Okay, so...
Which, by the way, is also Ben Affleck's real life.
Yes, because he's with J-Lo.
He's back with J-Lo?
Yes, he's with J-Lo.
Trapped, slamming car doors.
Yeah, oh my God. Great point. He is a victim. He is stuck. He's trapped. Much like Harrison Ford.
Not even Batman anymore?
I mean, what are you going to do with that? What do you think? Because that's not even like... We don't want a presumed innocent, too. You know what I mean? We don't.
No, there's
but
no...
But I mean, like, now we know... You can't tell the son, you know, your mom's a fucking killer. You can't put her in jail, you know, because you can't, what do you say at the end? You can't, like, prosecute somebody twice. And he's not going to, because it's the mother of his child. So,
by the way,
where are we at? Are you going to live with her? Like, are you going to stay with her? Like, because of your kid?
I don't know if that's true either.
What do you mean?
Like,
absolutely
I know you can't prosecute the same person twice for the same crime because that's double jeopardy. But if I try you for a crime...
Which is also a terrible movie with Ashley Judd.
Yes, it is. But if I try you for a crime and you're innocent, and you prove your innocence, there's still a murder that happened... That you would still be investigating that murder. It might become a cold case or a closed case if you don't have any other suspects. But if you find a suspect, you can absolutely prosecute that suspect.
I don't know. Are you a lawyer now, though? I don't know that you could... You would have to look this up. I mean...
So, okay.
You're in accounting, no offense, but I don't know if... Unless you're a lawyer all of a sudden...
If I kill Bobby Bonilla, right?
Okay.
And you get accused. You get accused of killing Bobby Bonilla. Bedelia.
Jesus.
And you and you're innocent.
Okay.
Because you didn't fucking do it.
Okay.
And you're like, I'm innocent. There's never any justice for the murder of this person.
There are laws, though.
I'm pretty sure the laws don't say, you know what? We tried to pin it on this person.
Yeah.
But it's really this person. I can't do anything about that.
I don't know.
I get him not turning her in.
No, I get it.
For the reasons that he stated, as far as his son's involved.
Hear me out. I believe at the end he said you can't, whether you believe it or not, Shawn McLaughlin, he does say at the end you can't try somebody, whatever he says at the end for the same.
I don't know. I think that's some silly judge talk right now.
But what he's really saying is he's not going to convict the mother of his son.
Right.
Is what he's saying. Put all aside what he said.
That he himself had wrong.
Yeah, no. Put aside whatever you believe of trying somebody twice for the same crime.
No, you can't try someone twice for the same crime.
Sorry.
But you can have multiple trials for the same crime.
Right. Love you. What I just said was, forget what you just said with that. He's not going to try the mother of his son, is what the end result of what he said at the end. Is Harrison Ford wrong? Absolutely. Fry this bitch, is what I say. Barbara.
Didn't a small part of you want him to just fucking take that hatchet and kill his own wife?
Shawn, that is a terrible, terrible thing to say. And yes. Yes. Right? And he knew.
Oh, yeah.
And then she sat down at the kitchen table all calmly and was like, did her whole speech. By the way, I wanted to ask you about that speech. And
how many times did she say that in the mirror to herself?
No, and the listeners as well, I want to know what they think. When she went upstairs and sat at the table and did her speech. It's not moving at all to me. You know what's moving to me? And I'll tell you. The one tear coming down Harrison Ford's cheek. That's what got me. But you know why he was crying? Because he's like, I'm just crying because now I got a reason to leave this bitch. That's why he was crying. That's what I felt it was a tear of hope. Like a tear of happiness. And I stand by it.
So what do you think happens after this movie? Where do these characters go?
Well, we already know. Because he said it at the end. You know what? I don't know if you remember it. Opened with the courtroom scene.
Yeah,
where
closed
he was
with
doing
the
this whole
scene.
thing.
Yeah.
And it, no, with his,
talking
speech.
about the jurors. Yeah.
And then it closed with I love that. When something opens and closes in the same manner. Closed with his speech. It's sad for me because he says at the end, he knows what happens. He's not going to do anything towards the mother of his child.
Right, but are they still married a year from now? Or do you think that...
That's what I said. Is there going to be a presumed innocent too? No. I feel, God, I just hope he went and just got his own little place, and just, got away from her. Yeah, there's no way. I don't think he stayed with her. How do we know? I don't know.
No, it's just speculation.
But, he's not going to take the son away from the mom, right?
Well, that's what he says.
I hope he goes and stays at the fucking Holiday Inn down the way and stays away from crazy bitch. That's what I hope.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would think, is that he's not actually trapped in the marriage.
No.
He's trapped with her because of the kid.
Yeah, and
he's not willing to take the mom away from the kid.
Yeah, and she's not going to harm the son. Per se.
Oh God, no! This was a crime of passion.
No, exactly.
This was not. So she's not going to hurt her own son.
Honestly, if there's a Holiday Inn down the way, Harrison Ford, please go stay there. Look, you got some money. You got a good job.
He doesn't spend it all on tools. I'm really stuck on their shitty ass toolbox.
I know. This is where I want listeners to jump in.
But you also understand why I'm so stuck on it.
What they think.
Because if I killed somebody with the Craftsman hammer that's in my toolbox, right?
Clean it.
Well, no. But I'm just saying, a crime specialist would look at it and say, okay, it's this type of hammer. They used a very distinctive hatchet on this woman. They're going to look for something with a very distinctive style. And the toolbox is filled with archaic tools that would match that.
Why it doesn't make sense is what you said earlier. I'm still coming back to it. One, when they searched the house, They didn't search down there at all for tools.
Wait, hold on. Didn't they talk about this very thing? Didn't Barbara and Harrison Ford, when the house was being rampaged, weren't they sitting at the table and she said something like, are they going to look for a murder weapon? And he goes, they're not going to look for it because they're not going to say if they can't find one, they have to disclose that they're looking for it. So they're just looking for evidence that puts him there, and that's it.
Like the carpet fibers,
right.
etc.
Now, granted, if you're still looking through everything, you would still find a bloody hammer.
Is that why she said that? Because she's a bitch.
Because maybe she thought they would look for the murder weapon. And they would find it. So that did throw a little ripple in her plan. Perhaps.
She's a terrible person.
Yeah, of course she's a fucking terrible person.
Can we just end... Let's just end the episode with that.
Yeah.
She's a terrible person. And Harrison Ford still is amazing. And hope you're staying in a fucking Days Inn down the way. And away from her.
Kristy.
What?
I went into this episode with my Letterboxd rating in my head.
Yeah.
And I was going to give it 3.5 stars because I like the performances in this movie outside of Barbara. But I'm thinking it might be a 3.
Really?
Yeah. But I didn't hate the movie. You know, I didn't by any stretch.
Why'd you just lose a half a star? Just because of the...
I just think there's some serious kind of plot holes with that. And obviously, I mean, I hate to say it, it's a mystery movie.
Yeah.
That I figured out halfway through the movie.
Yeah. That's true.
And so
I'm gonna stay with the 4
There wasn't a lot of suspense for me on that. The principal murderer, who we see all throughout the movie, can't fucking act.
I'm gonna.
Do I like the story itself? Yes. Do I like almost all the actors in it? Yes.
Yeah.
Even the actress who played Carolyn in the back scenes, I thought she was really good.
You know what?
The courtroom scene where they bust the child abuser, the child abusing mom, that was a great scene.
It's great. With the little kid.
Yeah, with the little kid. It was fantastic.
You know why it stays a 4 for me? Tell you why. Raúl Juliá, Brian Dennehy, Harrison Ford, and John Spencer and Paul Winfield. That's why it remains a 4-star. Rest in peace. 4-star. Ironically, those 4 are no longer with us. Yeah. And fucking Harrison Ford, God bless you. Also, it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
You know what?
I would never dissuade anybody.
And you know what? I'm gonna give you that 3.5 stars fair. It loses a star for me for a couple reasons that we just discussed tonight, and also Bobby Bonilla. I'm sorry. I stand by it. I don't want any haters, but I stand by it, and I think Shawn stands by it. Now you know when I said at the end of Dread, when I introduced this movie, do you understand my Bobby Bonilla thing I'm saying now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And if she ever listens to this, I'm sorry, but I stand by it. But I think I'm still going to give it 4 stars. Some great acting in this.
And, you know, she can laugh herself to the bank after listening to our podcast, too, because, I mean, she got paid.
Yeah.
You know, so what do we know? But at the same time, don't really dig your work there.
Jesus Christ. Now, we're done. We're going to introduce Shawn's next movie that he's going to expose me to. So, yes. Shawn, what say you?
I am introducing Kristy to a movie that is very dear to my heart. The amount of times I have seen this movie scoffs at the 5 or 6 times that Kristy has seen Presumed Innocent. It's a movie that I love, that I introduce everybody to, with the caveat that I'm sure that nobody loves this movie as much as I do. In fact, I'm pretty sure the director would agree that nobody loves this movie as much as I do. Kristy and I have been married for 7 years, and we have had a Italian subway poster, 6 feet by 4 feet, framed up, cost me like $500 to frame that thing in our hallway and in our old house too of this film. So she sees it every day and she has never seen it. So next movie is the 1987 sci-fi comedy western everything Cherry 2000, directed by Steve DeJarnette.
Wow. Okay.
This is a movie that I technically don't need to see with Kristy in order to do a podcast on. But I'm going to, because there's no reason to not watch Cherry 2000.
I'm actually floored because in 7 years we've been married, but 9 years or so we've been together. Shawn has talked about this movie a million times, and I have never seen it, and perhaps I'm a bad wife. But I don't know, I just don't know why. I've never seen it, but I believe it's time. So
Cherry 2000 stars not Julia Roberts.
No.
But it does star
Melanie
Griffith.
Yes.
Who starred with Harrison Ford
in Working Girl.
So it all comes
our
full
third
circle.
Episode back to if you want to listen to.
Girl.
That's funny. Yeah. And I'm gonna. Can I say a little funny here? I think I said it earlier.
Better be funny now that you built it up.
I'm embarrassed to admit it, but you already know this. This life-size poster of Cherry 2000 that has been in our house for so long. For the longest time, I walked by it. And then one day I stopped and went, is that Melanie fucking Griffith? This is how much I know about Cherry 2000, people. I'm sorry.
To be fair, it was 1987.
I know, and she did not look like Melanie Griffith.
It's not the
she
painting.
Looks good,
the painting is great as it is.
Yeah.
It's not a fantastic likeness of her, and she is wearing a wig in this movie. So
I didn't know it was
it
her.
wouldn't be necessarily immediately recognizable as Melanie Griffith.
And Steve
DeJarnette?
Yeah.
The director.
Yes, I know. I believe he is a friend of yours as well.
Yes,
and,
we've had many conversations about this movie. He questions why I'm so obsessed with this movie.
Yeah, he probably is questioning why your wife hasn't seen this, so...
Oh, no, he'd probably be right there with you. He'd probably be like I told... Because Steve DeJarnette made a movie a couple years after Cherry 2000 called Miracle Mile.
Oh.
And he is very proud of Miracle Mile. And he should be very proud of Miracle Mile.
I love Miracle Mile.
Miracle Mile is with Anthony Edwards and Mare Winningham and some great B actors in the background, supporting actors.
It's amazing. And
it's a fantastic movie. Has a very dark ending, but it's a really cool story.
Oh, it's a dark ending. The ending has my heart.
Yes, it's and it's very underseen.
Yeah.
It's very underseen. So I
think so?
I champion that movie as well.
Do you think so? It's underseen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You showed it to me that
nobody ever showed this movie to knew what this movie was.
You showed me Miracle Mile in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Yes, I remember.
It was
a bad weekend.
It was a very bad weekend. I actually had nightmares afterwards. Not because of the movie, it was just a bad weekend that we saw it. Beautiful movie. Beautiful. And then I rewatched it, remember, like a year or two later when it was a better time for us. And I was just thinking of Miracle Mile actually this week, and I wanted to watch it again. So it's a beautiful movie. So I love that he did Cherry 2000 as well.
So, Cherry 2000, if you don't already have a copy of this movie in your house, which why wouldn't you? You can rent it on your digital platform of your choice. Vudu has it. Apple TV has it. Tubi has it for free, allegedly, to stream. That'll have ads on it, but you can watch it. that way. So there are ways to watch it. It's available on Blu-ray. So it's out there. Find your preferred way to watch it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna watch my husband's favorite movie here soon. So
for the first time.
For the first time. So we're out. We're good. And
see you next time for the last episode of K&S Exposed.
Is the last one?
Yep.
The very
last one, because you'll be like, no, there's nothing. There's nowhere to go
terrible.
from here. We've done Cherry 2000. What else is there? Oh, jeez.
He means no. Yeah. Now we're going.
Or I just won't be allowed to pick movies anymore.
Yeah.
If you don't like it.
Oh my gosh. You've built up Cherry 2000.
I don't intend to.
I know you don't intend to, but I love you, but you've built it up for the last 9 years, so...
Cherry 2000 is my favorite movie.
Oh, okay.
I understand why other people won't like it, and I understand that people will look at it and go, okay, I dug it. Why is this your favorite film?
It doesn't matter.
But it is. But that's why I'm saying I don't take any offense to anybody else's opinion on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be as wrong as you want.
And this could be the last K&S Exposed afterwards because it might be terrible. No, I'm just saying. Shawn just sat through Bonnie Bedelia, so I can sit through Cherry 2000.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can sit through Cherry 2000.
Anyway, guys, thanks for being with us. It was fun. Hope you had a good time. See Presumed Innocent. It's still a good movie.
Check out Presumed Innocent.
You had me sidetracked with Cherry 2000. That's why I was going to say see Cherry 2000, but please see Presumed Innocent.
Well, they have seen it. Because we told them at the beginning of the episode, don't listen to this episode unless you've seen Presumed Innocent.
But I mean, not everybody follows directions.
This is true.
Have you not been in preschool and elementary school? Follow directions. Not everybody does it. So anyway, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for listening to us rattle on about this movie.
Yeah, and just being silly.
It's
a silly weekend, and we're just being silly. So. We appreciate it.
See you guys next time.
Thank you. Peace. Be well. Have a good weekend.
Don't murder anyone. Just don't do it. And if you do, clean your own damn murder weapon. Don't make your fucking husband do that.